This is London and Olivia. They have a very popular TikTok with over 700,000 followers and recently just got married. The day after their wedding, when they should have been on their honeymoon, somebody decided to drop these tweets. We don't know how long they were sitting on them, and it has her saying the N-word well over 100 times.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So as usual, my disclaimer, please, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Do not go searching out the people that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comment, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So today we're going to be talking about a lesbian couple who just wedded, American lesbian couple, and then they are in the news not for their wedding but for the fact that it was uncovered that one of them had made some Ray to the Cis anti-black Twitter post as far back as 10 years ago. Let me just go right ahead and play some of the videos so that you guys can better understand the situation.
So this is London Stalling. She was born in December of 1996. That means she is currently 26 years old. London and Olivia recently got married, and shortly after being married, someone released hundreds of receipts of London Stalling's Twitter account, where multiple times she said the N-word over multiple months of periods. It wasn't just a one instance or a two instance. This was a lot of tweets. There was and over years periods too. There was also insults towards people, bullying, and just awful racist tweets. When these were released, people went to go search for the Twitter and it had been deactivated. Now, she didn't address when she deactivated the Twitter. She's only addressing it now. And let's talk about her apology. First, in the apology video, she at no point in time mentioned what she had said. She didn't mention her age and that it was over years periods and that there were multiple tweets. Good. In this apology video, which by the way was only posted on their story and it is not a main staple of their page, so it's going to get deleted after 24 hours. She didn't fully explain in depth what she had said, and she didn't state what her age was. Mind you, she was likely, there were tweets from from 2012 to 2014. So she was 16 to 18 years old, and she was doing it over and over. She claimed she has become educated now, gone on marches now, and her wife stood by her side and said, yeah, I'm with her, like, we're married, whatever happens to her happens to me, like, she is a part of me, and I know she's changed. If you feel affected by these, please reach out. She's grown so much since she was a teenager. 2012 to 2014, people knew better. And I think the fact that the account was deleted / deactivated and now it's coming to surface, so now she has to apologize and she only posted it on her story is, in my opinion, largely disappointing. What are your thoughts on this situation? I would love to know what people's opinions are.
So a lot of people have been talking about it, especially people from the black community. And this couple are actually loved by a lot of members of the LGBTQ community, including black members of the LGBTQ community. So it's been a very interesting topic of discussion and everybody has just been talking about it. So at this point, I'm just going to go right ahead and play people's speeches and commentary to the whole situation.
Your favorite white creator just had their racist tweets released, and what's funny about that statement is, while obviously I'm talking about London and Olivia, I could say that statement every single year from now until the day I die, and it will always be applicable because it happens every single year. At this point, it kind of feels like a bad play. Like, I know everything that's going to happen after the event. I know all the dialogue that's going to be performed. For example, once the apology video is released, we always have a flood of white people in the comments accepting an apology that they have no business accepting because they aren't the ones affected. And in said acceptance that they should not be giving in the first place, there is always some combination of the phrases they've learned, they've changed, they've grown. When we have no evidence to suggest any of that is true, but we do have a lot of evidence to suggest the contrary. And that's the thing. Has anyone learned? Has anyone changed? Has anyone grown? Because like I said, this happens every single year without fail, and I can count on this happening the same way I can count on my birthday being the same time every single year. The one thing I can guarantee that's going to happen in this world every single year is that y'all will put some white creator on some weird parasocial pedestal. Someone will release their racist tweets, snaps, whatever have you. White people will accept apology that is not for them, and we have the same discourse every single year. So who is learning? Who is changing if the same thing happens like clockwork? Certainly not the creators themselves. That's obvious. But it's also not the talent management companies and the PR teams that are like usually world-renowned PR teams that don't even assign an intern to do what somebody called a slur check on their clients and make sure everything's on the up and up. The people in the comments haven't learned or changed because they are copying and pasting the same things that they said last year when this happened to insert white creator here. And they're saying the same thing of, oh, they were too young to know. It was a different time. It was more acceptable. The whole they're too young thing isn't applicable because those girls and I are the same age. Now to say it wasn't a big deal back then, it was more acceptable back then is crazy because you want to know what was happening between 2011 and 2015? Trayvon Martin. And what was effectively the start of the Black Lives Matter movement. Now to say those tweets were acceptable during the start of the Black Lives Matter movement is absolute insanity. So let's put this together, shall we? The creators have not learned, have not grown, have not changed. The management companies have not learned, have not grown, have not changed. The people in the comments accepting apologies that aren't for them have not learned, have not grown, haven't changed. So who has? The only people learning anything in these situations ever are Black people. And what we are learning is that racism will never be a deal breaker for you guys.
You guys may not know who London and Olivia is. I really love these girls. Like, I like watching their journey. They're two lesbians that just got married. They show the OOTDs and, like, you know, their lifestyle. And I just like to look at it. Like, I think it's cute. It's non-political. Sometimes I like non-political things, you know. And I don't know their political backgrounds or anything like that, and I don't care. But recently, people have been digging up tweets about her and claiming that she's racist because in a few tweets like 10 or 12 years ago, like, she was saying the N-word and stuff like that, and she clearly looks very young in these photos, and, like, you know, they have the N-word blurred out and stuff like that, and so, like, she would say the N-word a lot, like, and you want to know something? This is probably gonna, like, mess y'all up. How does it reflect to who she is today? Does she look like she's that type of person to, like, be saying the N-word constantly now? Especially in this BLM culture with, like, if you say, like, 2 words, like, you literally are banned for life and, like, and they can just take you down. I honestly don't care that she said the N-word 10, 12 years ago. Because all this woke mob wants to do, all they want to do is try to bury these women because they just live their life. Plus, they're very pretty and successful. And we already know how, like, our culture nowadays, they don't like white people. And they cannot stand when people are successful and be able to get as many likes as this photo can. So, like, some, like, person out there that just don't have nothing going on in their life, they have to take down people because they literally just want to and think it's fun and cute to do so and try to expose something about someone because they can't get ahead in life. I don't know why she's apologizing. She should just, like, literally, like, brush off her shoulders and just keep on living her life. People will forget about this in, like, 2 weeks. They got married on a plantation. There is literally nothing non-political about that kind of choice, back with over 100 tweets using racial slurs. It's really sad how, like, Black people, like, you guys, you don't learn to, like, not get out of this mental slavery that you guys have been conditioned to be under, and to continue to be under because you are so reliant on, like, emotional outrage, and especially over a word that literally every single Black person literally uses every single day, including myself. And you act like you own a word. Like, y'all honestly need to grow up, honestly. You guys don't even watch these women. You guys don't even care about these women. You only want to tear them down because you think you own a word, and you think that you are God, and you think that you can be able to hold people accountable because you don't like what someone says over 12 years ago when they was like a teenager. And who cares where they had their marriage at? The venue looks very pretty. I live for it. Honestly, like, just because something has history to it that you may not agree with, that I'm pretty sure all of us do not agree with, doesn't mean that it cannot be used for anything good in the present, such as allowing 2 gay women to be married on a quote-unquote plantation. And you guys seem to forget your history that also Black slave masters, they also owned plantations as well. And it wasn't only white people that owned plantations and owned slaves, just to let you know. So you mean to tell me, like, if I took my Black self and I saw a venue that has a history that I probably didn't even know of, that was a plantation, But simply because it was very gorgeous and very aesthetically pleasing, I can't get married there and I'm deemed to be a racist or to be proud of the history that it was before and that it isn't now. You have to be out of your mind.
So when do we stop just allowing people to have a racist past and let that be the norm? Because this whole London, I think that's her name, and these racist tweets is just irritating me, because I don't even need to go into details of why I shouldn't have been saying it. We already know it's the issue. But what's irritating me is like those tweets were made in 2012. And I feel like what we're going to keep doing is excusing behavior when you should have known better at that point. So you were 16. Also, you're too old. You knew better. But it's also 2012. So you should have known better. It's different if Twitter was around, it was like 1920 and you were calling people the N-word. It's like, that was kind of more on brand. You know what I mean? But like 2012. That's kind of recent. My question is, say someone that's 16 right now in 2023, when they become 26 in 10 years and there's something to look back on and they were racist in 2023, do we excuse that too? It's like there comes a point where it's not excusable at all to any degree, just because of the fact that each year is supposed to be more progressive, you're supposed to understand more. I'm thinking about what I was doing in 2012, and I wasn't saying the F word and being homophobic, because I never have, but I also knew better.
In my previous video, I mentioned that the wedding may be located at a plantation. So, good news, it was not at a plantation, but bad news, it was at an equally racist location. So the venue is actually an old manufacturing mill for Confederate soldier uniforms called Naylor Hall, and it's located in Roswell, Georgia. The Union Army came in and like destroyed it because they were also hiding Confederate soldiers in the building. So yeah, still racist, but not plantation racist, just Confederate soldier holding house racist. As if that makes a difference. It's still ignorant, which just amplifies my point of them not being racially or culturally aware at all. And honestly, like, this whole situation just made me extremely perplexed, because y'all were more angry at Black women specifically for calling out these behaviors than actually being upset with London for making these comments in the first place. Like, it's so weird. People were more upset about the discrepancies regarding the wedding venue than London's comments. Like, it just is not making sense. That's how I know, especially in the queer community, it does not matter how progressive you try to come off as or let on. If it is involving your fave and them being racist, y'all are going to defend your fave until the end. And with that being said, it also does not matter how popular or loved or admired or envied your fave is. If they're a racist or if they've made racist comments, they're going to be addressed. There is no way you can get past that.
So, London and Olivia, I literally love them. Like, love them. What London did was wrong. She was wrong. She admits she's wrong. She apologizes because what she did was wrong. I mean, like, can we just forgive her? Because seeing her in her videos now, I don't see her ever saying that word, anything negative, those words. When you are a child or a teenager, you are whatever is around you. You don't have any, control of your surroundings. When you are an adult, you can actually be the person that you want to be, okay? And as an adult, as she is now, I do not see any of those characteristics that she carried when she was a child. That's all I have to say. Her coming on here and apologizing, of course, that's what everyone should do when you hurt somebody's feelings, you apologize. But I don't think she's one of them. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Number two, whoever leaked those tweets did it, and they did it at a time that they knew that they would hurt her the worst. Now that is also fucked up, because you had those tweets, you sat on them, and you waited until her wedding day to share those tweets with the world because you wanted to hurt her. So that's another thing. Like, I feel really, really terrible that, you know, she's getting married. She's supposed to be having a great honeymoon, and this resurfaces. Like, let it resurface when she's at home in Georgia. You know? So that's another it for me. Like, if you wouldn't have done it the day of her wedding, I would have been like, oh no, you wrong, London. But because you were so calculated and did it on the day of her wedding, I kind of feel bad. Now I feel bad for her, because this is not right. You don't do that to people. Anyways, I think London is not one of them, and I think we should forgive her. She did something wrong. She apologized. When I was a teenager, I did a lot of wrong fucking things, and I hope this doesn't fucking blow up so someone goes and finds all the wrong things that I've done, because I did, and I apologize for them. But I'm grown now. I pay my own bills, and I can be accountable for them. Okay?
If you was able to tweet something racist 10 years ago, you're still racist. I said what I said. I was taught at a young age to not say certain things and certain slurs for a reason, and I've never said them. But for some of you guys, it's always like, well, I was too young and I didn't know. No, you knew better, because I knew better when I was young, so I know you knew better. A lot of the times, influencers who have horrible pasts try to cover it up by trying to be this polished person or have this polished image, when really they're really sick and disgusting behind the scenes. I don't really give grace to nobody when it comes to who they are as a person, because I know they have a past, and I know their past can be dirty. I said what I said.
I'm tired of cancel culture being weaponized, and then black people are like, it's like a moment for black people to come together. The thing with this situation is, like, motherfuckers knew she was racist, or that she was biased, or whatever the case may be. Like, people knew about those tweets from years ago, but now it's convenient. Now it's being weaponized, and all of a sudden all of us are like having these discords about the situations that happen every single day. I'm tired of cancel culture being convenient. I'm tired of cancel culture being random. And I'm tired of cancel culture being a thing where people are at the height of their careers, like no one is safe type shit. Like, don't make these bad people famous, period. How about we just not make them famous at all? How about we don't give them views at all? How about, like, in this economy where people can't even afford, like, food, we're not, like, sponsoring them?
So you guys can see that some people don't think it's a big deal, while others think it is a big deal. And I personally, I just want us to talk about it, you know, because I think cancel culture these days is one of the most brutal things. Because when you're in the spotlight, it is funny how people can go as far back as 10, 12 years ago and dig up something that you posted or something that you said. And, like, I feel like nobody is safe. And I actually think I heard in one of those posts that these tweets were actually deleted tweets. So obviously someone had that in mind, you know, kept records of this thing and decided on a strategic time to release it, because for it to have come out just right after her wedding definitely was not a coincidence, right? So now that is the question that I want to ask. What do you guys think about this whole cancel culture thing, where people see someone maybe in the limelight and then go and dig up something from their past? And even if it was something that they did when they didn't know any better, are some things inexcusable? Like, it doesn't matter if you have grown, if you have learned, if it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, you're going to still face the consequences of your actions. That is the first question that I want to ask. And then I personally was shocked by how many of those tweets, like, it was so easy for her to say these words. And from a lot of what people are saying, she's not the only one who used to say it. Like, a lot of people had that freedom to express themselves, especially people that were born and raised in the South. Like, it was almost like a normal thing. So we know that we are in quotes the woke era, so people are more outraged and speak up on these things now more, especially on the internet, as opposed to maybe that 10 years ago when she was making these tweets. I'm not saying it was accepted then. I'm just saying, like, she was making those tweets then and there was no outrage, but now this is a different time and era, and now she has to face the consequences of her actions. So she came out and actually made an apology video.
Okay, hey guys, so there had been some tweets of mine that I learned about yesterday back 10 to 12 years ago that had resurfaced, and I know that some of you guys know, but I don't know if all of you know, and the reason why I am making this video is because I want all of you to know, and I don't want anyone to think that I am sweeping this under the rug, or it's something that I'm not going to address or don't want to address, because I do want to address it, because that's not who I am, who I was as a teenager. And I want to get into a couple things, and I hope that you guys will hear me out. I am completely and utterly disgusted and ashamed and honestly embarrassed at how normal it was for me to speak that way on Twitter, and to, I don't know, for my friends and I to address each other that way, or for me to sing along in rap songs back in my teens. Like, there's no room for me to defend myself, and that's not what I'm here to do. But I do want to acknowledge that the reason why I'm addressing this is because that's not who I am today. That's not me. That's not what I stand for. It's not what I believe in. And I think, like, that's what kills me the most, is that, like, at one point in time I thought that it was okay, and I thought that it was normal, and that's nobody else's fault but mine. I want to preface by saying also that over the last several years, how much I've grown and how much I've learned. I would never, ever think about saying any of those things. I haven't, and I have been a part of multiple groups, multiple marches, multiple things that I have done in my community. These are my actions. They were something that I said. No one made me say these things. I said these things. I wholeheartedly take accountability for them. I am, to the deepest, darkest parts of me, sorry. I would never intentionally say something to hurt someone. Ever. I want you all to know that. I would never say, even back when I was a teen, I wasn't saying those things to hurt anyone. I wanted to use all 10 minutes of this time to, like I said, apologize. Moral of the story, to apologize. Know that I love every single one of you guys, and I will never be able to repay you for the support that you've shown Olivia and I. And I just wanted to apologize and to tell you guys that I am sorry and that I love you, and that's all.
But people don't really like the apology video for two reasons. They said she didn't directly address what she did. Like, she didn't come out and say, I used the N-word so many times, like she wasn't directly owning up, or she sounded kind of detached from her actions that she was coming to apologize for, because she didn't directly say what exactly it was in plain words that she was apologizing for. So that's one reason people are not accepting her apology. The second reason is that she didn't even make it an actual post. She kind of put it in her stories. If you're not familiar with how stories works, so stories are things that you post on your social media platform. I think YouTube has it, TikTok has it, Instagram has it, and when you post them, they disappear after 24 hours. So it's not like a permanent post per se. After 24 hours, people are not going to be able to see that post anymore. So people were offended by the fact that she put it as a story instead of an actual post that people could always access. So it made it look like it was trivial, like it wasn't that serious. She wasn't sincerely sorry.
Hey beautiful people, there's been an update in the London and Olivia stalling situation. So if you remember, London was the one that was called out for hundreds of tweets of her being racist, xenophobic, and apparently there's some tweets of her being against Latin people. Well, someone found Olivia's old tweets, and there are multiple tweets of her saying the N-word, a tweet where her brother says the N-word, a tweet where she took a picture of a man with a Confederate hat and put precious. She also tweeted this. Just overall, also doing the same thing that London had done. Now, if you remember London's apology video, which, again, now has been taken down because it's been 24 hours and it was a story post and never put permanently in her feed. Olivia sat next to her and called her behavior disgusting and said that they had a conversation about it. She was deeply disappointed. She's not this person anymore. And nowhere in this apology video did Olivia say, well, I had done the same thing. Nowhere has she ever addressed it in the past. It's largely disappointing that these two women, when they were older teenagers, decided to do all of this. What are your thoughts?
So what do you guys also think about that? Then I have a question for any Black person that is also a member of the LGBTQ community. I mean no disrespect whatsoever, but I want to know from the perspective of Black people that are members of the LGBTQ plus community, what is it like relating to other non-Black counterparts of the LGBTQ community? Do you guys still experience anti-Blackness from them as well? Or are you guys more united under the bracket of LGBTQ plus and the possible struggles and challenges you guys face in society that it drowns out the anti-Blackness? Like, you guys have to have a united front. So there's not really much anti-Blackness from other LGBTQ plus people that are not Black. So I want to know, like, is there still anti-Blackness in the LGBTQ plus community? You guys, please let me know in the comment section. So I want to know what you guys think. I'll be reading in the comment section. I'll be replying your comments. So let me wrap up this video here. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.